Part 1. Okay, everyone, we're going to get started with a jazz dance classic with isolations. You want to make sure that your abs and shoulders and glutes are engaged throughout this exercise, even if you're just focusing on your head or ribs. This is going to help give you better control and a little bit of extra strengthening. When we're doing our heads, we're making sure we are lifting and supporting through that neck, so you don't want to hear any crunching sound. And if you feel any pain at all that's outside of normal stretching, go reduce your mobility a little bit and soften those angles a bit. You can do as many in each direction as you want. That feels good, but ultimately you just want to go from things maybe feeling a little tight to feeling loose and ready to go. Isolations are important, even though they may seem simple, to increase mobility and just get all the parts of your body woken up and ready to dance. With the ribs, you want to make sure you're trying to isolate as much as possible. It's easy to start to take this into the shoulders and the pelvis, but really try to think about just at that waistline. If you don't feel your abs engage in this, then you're not kind of lifting enough. This really should be an ab and oblique exercise for sure. Hips, you want to make sure you're really using those plies and sitting in the plies between each direction. This also gives you a little extra thigh activation exercise, getting ready to move forward. People often skip the hips warming up, but it's really, really important for everyday comfort and strengthening. Okay, we're gonna do our single foot heel raises. These are really important to condition for pirouettes, battements and releve, or if you're just wearing heels in any sense, on stage or off stage. You're going to make sure your core is lifted, your shoulders are back, and you want to try to make it as smooth as possible going up and down on your foot. You can go as slow as is quick, but try to, do 2 counts up, 2 counts down if you can, keeping it as smooth as possible. When you start feeling kind of jerky motions, that means you kind of capped out, and that's how many you're going to work up to. All right, now it's the essential stretching. You're going to lift your knee towards your chest and then slightly over to your opposite hip. You should feel this through your glute and in your hip flexor. Then you're going to bring it all the way over. You can do these stretches, I would recommend 30 seconds each, but you can hold them as long or as little as you want, but you want to feel yourself kind of melt into those stretches. All right, we've got our hamstring stretch. The important thing about this is that your leg is very straight and the small of your back is relaxed into the floor. If your small of your back is not relaxed, you'd lower your leg a little bit until it can be. Here you're going to go the straight on, bring to the shoulder, and then turn it in a little bit and across to get all 3 major hamstrings there. Perfect. And then you're going to do the other side. These are really important, and they help to improve your flexibility a little bit each day, as well as honestly your posture overall. If you're sitting at a desk a lot, things like that, you're going to find your smaller your back pain and shoulder pain is going to be a lot less by doing these consistently. I always make sure I do these exercises every single time before I dance. Some modifications for these stretches, if you need them, is to use a strap or a scarf or some fabric so that you don't have to physically grab your leg in those hamstring stretches. That way you can really focus on that small of the back being nice and relaxed and that knee being straight. Depends on the day. Sometimes I need it, sometimes I don't, but I always make sure I have something to grab my leg. We're going to do our port-de-bras to jazz port-de-bras. We do our en bas in the lower position, we bring it up to mid, and then we open out and then bring the hand towards the floor to make that jazz line. As I'm demonstrating here towards the back, you can see that my shoulders are squeezing and rotating in and down to engage all of my back muscles. Your arm movement should always come from your back muscles. That's going to make your dancing look much more sophisticated and polished. You're also going to do the second port de bras, so they come from mid-center up to a V, and then you bring your hands out. If you want, a modification for these is to grab some little hand weights. I usually use about 3 pounds, but you can do whatever works for you. It just gives a little more resistance and helps you build those muscles faster. It's essential to get those shoulder muscles engaged for things like pirouettes because it's going to help you keep your posture, which is going to allow you to do your turns and not fall out of them. 2 other modifications, if those arms are feeling easy, is you can go into a first position plie and hold it and then do your arms, or do releve heel lifts as you're doing them. Okay, our next exercise are flat back twists. When we're doing these, we want to make sure our core is engaged and lifted. First, we come to a flat back position, and then we're going to reach and try to get our palm to the floor and open out our other shoulder and look towards the ceiling. This is going to get some nice oblique twists in there. That engages our core. This is also a great bonus hamstring stretch.